Hey everyone, welcome to the Power Rangers Heroes of the Grid. Throw a title up in here. Megazord box, but this is the Power Rangers Heroes of the Grid Kickstarter expansion box. There's a giant Golgar picture, some Gamora art, which I've mentioned several times in my video. Game designed by Jonathan Ying. Really cool guy. From what I've seen, he's active on the not only during the Kickstarter but also on the website or the Facebook page, so you can ask questions and answers. Plus, any of the team of Renegade who helped do this, Danny Lowe, Scott Gata, were two other people instrumental from now and during the Kickstarter. Just want to throw a quick shout out to them. Should have done all that in the first video. It has some neat like hollow foil thing. Artwork all around this box, but it's way too big for how my camera's sitting to really show up. You can kind of see some of them dots on there. Alright, so let's start this. So, what we have in here are all the different expansions. There's the Green with Evil Kickstarter expansion, which is where you get to have the evil Green Ranger, Tommy, and trying to remember all the characters in it. I believe Scorpina was the other villain in there. They could get a fight. They have some different warriors they could get a fight against. The different foot soldiers. I believe that set was the Tengu warriors. And then there's some other characters. And then there's the White with Light expansion, which you actually get the hero character of the White Ranger. Plus, you also you fight against Lord Zed. There's a couple other just Kickstarter exclusive characters. Unfortunately, they just have everything thrown in the box together. Yeah, I don't see anything that's explicitly separating which are from what expansion and what's just from the Kickstarter stretch goals. So they're all blended together, so I'm just going to go through them as I go through them, and we'll just go from there. So we have some new locations. We have the shopping mall. And like I've said in my previous videos, it's not a how-to play. I'm not going to describe everything unless it's something that seems new. Because of the expansion stuff, you want to watch they have how to play, or I might eventually make one, or check out my first video when I kind of do brief explanations. At the start of each battle in this location, the lead ranger deals 1 damage to an enemy of their choice. So the shopping mall is pretty cool. We have the dockyard. At the start of each battle in this location, drain 1 energy. Well, that sucks. Definitely I would recommend anyone playing this, don't play with the special abilities right away. Or you could play some of the ones that are beneficial, like the Zord Graveyard, if you want to play against them. But also remember that if you're playing with a location, you're playing with the foot soldiers that are in that location. So the Mastodon troopers that come with the Zord Graveyard might be more harder than, say, the Putty Patrol. Power plant. At the start of each battle, this location gain 1 energy. So again, you might want that. That might be useful just to have that to help make your game easier. But the villains, the foot soldiers, might be harder. And the Stone Quarry. At the start of each battle of this location, 1 ranger suffers 2 damage. Alright. So, one thing the Kickstarter came with was a bunch of these. These are your energy tokens. So instead of being little cardboard things, you got little tokens. You can flip them over to show that they're done. And a nice little plastic lead token. There is a group on the internet called Covenant. You can look them up. They do like pre-orders for game stuff. They have some really cool looking Power Ranger tokens they made. They're acrylic. They have different ones for energy and damage and all this. They look really neat. It's about $50 for all of them. which is why I didn't get it yet, just because I don't have the money for extra things. But yeah, they look really neat. Might be something to look up for if you just want to enhance your game. Again, not necessary. You can use the cardboard ones, but they're pretty cool looking. So we're going to start off with Tommy Oliver and the Mighty Morphin Green. So he gets the Mighty Morphin symbol. Kind of wish they had like a neat Kickstarter symbol or something, but that's fine. So he's the loner. If you are the only player with a ranger in your location, you may add one guy to each of your attacks. So this kind of signifies the 6th ranger usually being a little bit more powerful. He'll go off and fight by himself. He'll start to lose, and they'll be like, "Hey, come help us." So here we got him. He's of course got his awesome dragon shield, his little dagger, the flute dagger. So there is Tommy Oliver, Green Ranger. And let's look at some of his cards. So of course he's just the Blade Blaster, like all the other Mighty Morphin Rangers do. So far, every character's had a Blade Blaster, with the exception of Time Force Jen Scott, who has a Chrono Blaster, and Warren Shiba, the Red Super Samurai Ranger. She didn't have anything. And the Hyperforce Rangers did not have Blade Blasters, but they had their own type that did something very similar. He has his dagger solo. It's a maneuver. For the rest of the battle, the energy cost of all combat cards is reduced by 1. Dragon Dagger, 3 dice. Perform this attack twice. It's pretty nice. Dragon Rush. Attack 1 die. After resolve this attack, you may perform a second attack with 2 dice. He's got the Dragon Shield. He's got 2 of those. Play this card when any ranger suffers damage. To reduce that damage by 3, the next time you perform an attack during this battle, add 1 die to that attack. And Solo Strike. You may reroll any number of dice during this attack. That is our Green Ranger, Tommy Oliver. Again, currently right now this is Kickstarter, or Kickstarter exclusive. What they have already said, at least for the fact of the Green Ranger and the White Ranger, they haven't specified any of the other Kickstarter characters for sure. They will re-release them in some fashion, so it might be a different pose with the same cards. It could be a completely new set of cards, or just cards with different artwork. But they will release them. I don't know how. Of course, the collector in me says if it's just a different pose, I may not buy it unless it's just the character by itself. But it has to come with cards. If all the cards are the same, I don't know if I'm going to spend too much. That's one of the things we'll wait and see. So the Dragon Zord, Green Ranger Morphin Zord. Exhaust this card when you defeat an enemy card with an attack to deal excess damage from that attack to another enemy card of your choice. So basically, if you can, I can do 6 damage, but you only have to do 3, you can move that extra damage to somebody else. Or to another guy, so that's kind of cool. The next one we're going to look at is actually kind of an interesting Kickstarter one. So we have Jason Lee Scott, the Mighty Morphin Red Dragon Shield version. So he's got the Legacy of the Dragon. During setup, add the Dragon Shield, Mighty Morphin Red, and Dragon Shield Dagger Mighty Morphin Red cards to your starting hand. So what that is he has, let's set this up here, a Dragon Dagger, perform this attack twice, and Dragon Shield. Play this card when every Ranger suffers. So it works the exact same way as the Green Ranger's 2 cards do. So these have the same effects, and these have the same effects. So he does the same thing. Basically, he's gaining access to the Green Ranger stuff. This was at some point when the Green Ranger wasn't available. Jason took over for a bit. But he just adds these to his deck, so instead of getting a regular ability use, he gets 2 extra cards, which are both fairly powerful cards, so that's pretty cool. But beyond just getting a new thing, they also get a new figure. So you get him with his power sword, like he has, but then he also has his dragon shield on, and he's holding the dragon dagger. So it's technically another Red Ranger character you can play, but you wouldn't be able to actually play him with another version of the Red Ranger. You wouldn't be able to play 2 of them because you don't have enough cards. So now we have Tommy Oliver again, but Mighty Morphin White. Guardian of Light, once per battle, when any ranger reveals a card for defense, you may add 1 shield to that card. So that's pretty neat. You can add a shield. I'm gonna look at Tommy here quick. There he is with his extra cool vest and everything. And he's got Saba, his talking sword. You got the little Saba head on there, everything. So that's cool. There is an issue with these cards currently. All the Kickstarter White Ranger cards, for some reason, don't have shield icons. The Facebook page does have them up there. Hopefully they'll all be fixed for the actual retail versions that coming in. Well, I guess these aren't coming to retail. Hopefully if they ever release them in retail, they fix these. But everyone that has a Kickstarter, or if you see this video and you're still waiting on your package for some reason, they will be shipping out brand new cards to all of us. So we just gotta be patient and wait. But he has Fainting Slash. He does 3 attack. 3 dice. If you roll any misses, results during this attack, return this card to your hand instead of discarding it. He's got Flash Kick. Reaction, play this card at the start of the battle, roll 2 dice and deal that much damage to an enemy card of your choice. Flying Tiger. 2 dice. After resolve this attack, you may spend 1 energy to allow another ranger to immediately play 1 card with an energy cost of 0. It's kind of nice. You can spend a turn and play 2 0 cards right in a row. Here's his special armor, Guardian Armor. It's a maneuver. Gain 2 energy. Place this card on top of your deck instead of discarding it. Saba's Eye Beams, because his sword, who has a sentient tiger that can talk, can also shoot lasers out of it, like a gun. Deal 1 damage to up to each of 4 enemy cards. That's crazy for 2. And Saba's Slash does 5 dice. You may divide this number amongst any number of targets. So he's kind of got like his own Blade Blaster effect there by himself. Not exactly the Blade Blaster, but... And then he's got his White Tiger Zord. Exhaust this card when any ranger performs a maneuver to allow another ranger to immediately play 1 card with an energy cost of 0. I didn't mention this during the Shattered Grid, but I'll mention it now. So if you're playing with one of the other rangers that whose Zord is not part of the Megazord, that is fine. All the game cares is you have 5 Zords, and then when you hit that 6th Zord, you play one of the Megazords. So you could play either the Dino Megazord or the Hyperforce Megazord, which is called the Chronozord? I don't remember. But you can play either Megazord. You could technically, if you really want to, pick any of the Zords, even if they don't match your characters. That's really up to you and how you want to play the game. Alright, the next cool thing we got, speaking of Shattered Grid, is we have another Kimberly Ann Hart, but this time it's the Rebel Ranger Slayer. This is after her being the Ranger Slayer becomes good again. So she has Finishing Shot, the last enemy card in the Combat sequence resolves, deal 1 damage to an energy card of your choice. So basically, you get all the way done, you get a free 1 shot to try and finish something off. So here is Kimberly. And now she's pink as opposed to the other Ranger Slayer that was the white because she was a bad guy. She also took her helmet off. Looks like she fixed the holes in her jacket / cape. So that's cool. So now we got another Pink Ranger. So that brings our Pink Rangers up to 4 different Pink Rangers that you could play as. Because you could have Mighty Morphin Kim, Ranger Slayer Kim, Jen Scott Kim, Time Force, and Hyperforce Pink Kim. So you got 4 Pink Rangers out. So we have Blade Blaster. She keeps that. She has her Bow of Darkness still. Ignore the guard keyword when choosing a target for this attack. It does 5 damage. That is nasty. 2 piercing shots. There's 3 dice. If this attack defeats the target, deal the remaining from this attack to an enemy adjacent to the target. He kind of shoots through him. She has the Petra Kick. After you resolve this attack, if the target was not defeated, return this card to your hand instead of discarding. Score and Shot. If the reaction, play this card after an enemy card resolves to roll 2 dice and deal that much damage to that enemy card. So she's kind of like a finisher character. To clean up, she has Veteran Instance, which is a maneuver. Gain 1 energy. You may draw up to 2 cards, then you may immediately play another card. And I always love when they say may. That's my favorite things in games with cards. You're not forced to do it. You're not forced to draw extra cards. So she has the Grave Zord, which is really cool. It's a mixture of a bunch of different Zords. I don't even know what all of them are. It looks like, at least I think that's probably like the Dragon Shogun Zord, but I have no idea who that's probably the White Tiger Zord. But I don't know what the rest of them are. Could be, I have no idea even. But it's really cool. Exhaust this card to play an ability of another Zord that has been summoned. So that's kind of neat. You can basically double up on any other Zord. Before I go to the next character, hero character you can play as, I want to go through some of the other cool Kickstarter character cards. So, these were throwback art cards. So these are the same exact effects and everything of the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers from the base game. They just have the drawing that makes them look a lot more like the original versus the Boom artwork. So we have the Red Ranger, Blue Ranger, Black Ranger, Pink Ranger, and Yellow Ranger, White Ranger, Green Ranger. Again, none of these are anyway different by the effects than the other characters. They just have that old school art. The other thing that was neat is they have the added Rangers. So during the show at some point or another, different Rangers, or people took over for other Rangers. Red Ranger, Black Ranger, Yellow Ranger all took over when the original 3 Rangers in the storyline all left to go on a peace conference. Spoilers, give you a second. If you're reading the Boom comics right now, you'll see that those 3 Rangers eventually are now the Omega Rangers. So that would be pretty cool if they added them. Spoilers over. All I'm saying about it, you want more information on what that means, go look up the comic books, because that way I'm not really spoiling anything. It's just, they're still Rangers, so that's kind of cool. And then the Pink Ranger got replaced at some point when Pink Ranger and White Ranger both left the teams. Then those characters all eventually transferred into Zeo, which is one of the new sets coming out, so it's kind of cool, because you'll be able to play either the Power Ranger version of some of these characters, the Mighty Morphins, or the Zeo versions. So we'll start with Rocky DeSanto. So if I decide to play him, I just replace the Jason Lee Scott card, and then I use the same deck. Nothing there has changed. So you can't play him with the other Red Ranger unless you would buy a second base game, so you had 2 decks. Which actually, that is sort of an incentive to buy a second deck, or a second base game if you can find it cheap, just so you can play these characters together. Or you can just use any other, you only have 1 set of cards. Alright, let's go over the card. I'm rambling. Bravery. When you reveal a card from your defense, if that card would be placed to the bottom of your deck, you may instead add it to your hand. We have Adam Park, the Black Ranger. Adaptable. Once per battle, you may swap a card from your hand with the top card of your discard pile. Aisha Campbell. Momentum. Once per battle, after you defeat an enemy with an attack, gain 1 energy. And Cat Hillard. I wonder why they called her Cat and not Catherine. Quote Cat. Just because they use everyone else's full name. But, whatever. Agile. When you suffer damage before revealing a card for defense, you may look at the top 2 cards of your deck and put them back in any order. So those are kind of neat. Give you a little bit different ways. So you could play the game twice with each ranger and have slight different effects. Alright, so now for the final hero we have. We have an Alpha 5, who's a loyal robot. You cannot move from the command center. You cannot perform the battle action, but you may play cards in every battle regardless of location. So Alpha 5 works a little bit differently. So instead of being able to travel from location to location helping everybody, you can play cards in every battle. You can't initiate the battle, but you can help in any single battle you want. When you perform the recover action, you may allow another ranger to recover instead. So, basically the idea of Alpha 5 in this game is he's a support character. So while you're playing them, actually I just read right off this card. They have a card here that explains what Loyal Robot is. So, in this mode, one player controls Alpha 5 instead of controlling a ranger. During the setup, that player puts Alpha 5 character in front of them, Loyal Robot side up. They shuffle the Alpha 5 deck, draw a starting hand like everyone else. Alpha 5 is treated as a ranger for all game effects. Other abilities and restrictions are specified on Alpha 5's character card. So, he stays in the command center. So this could be a fun way if, like, you have kids. As the adult, if you want to play with your kids, or you're playing with some new people, you could be like, hey, I'll play Alpha 5, you guys play the other Rangers, and I'll help you out without feeling like you're taking control of the entire game. So that's kind of neat. The other thing is, Alpha 5 has a flip side, unlike the other characters. So he has support of AI, recovery boost. When any ranger performs the recover action, they may choose to recover up to 2 fewer shields in order to draw an equal number of cards from the Alpha 5 deck. When any ranger plays an Alpha 5 card, shuffle it back into Alpha 5's deck. So, the support of AI side, or Loyal Robot, flips over to support of AI, which says, in this mode, Alpha 5 is an extra member of the team and not controlled by any single player. During setup, place Alpha 5 next to the power board, support of AI side up, then shuffle the Alpha 5 deck, placing it nearby face down. During the game, players interact with the Alpha 5 deck as specified on the character card. So this is a way, if you want all play 5 characters, but you want a little extra hand, you can play Alpha 5. This is a really cool thing. I don't know if it's getting added into other sets or not. I know in the Kickstarter they said everyone that ordered the game would get Alpha 5. I'm assuming they'll just release him as a secondary character at some point. But he's not being released immediately. Like, he's not in the base game. Here's a little Alpha 5. Ay, 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 ay. There's Alpha. Let's look at his cards quick. So he has an Energize, a Maneuver, just gain 3 energy. So that's super helpful. Powers everyone back up. Kind of shows a cool, like, the picture of them, like, currently morphing. He's got 2 emergency shields. Reaction. Play this card when any ranger suffers damage to reduce that damage by 2. It's like all his cards aren't very shield heavy, but his tactical support, another maneuver. They're all going to be maneuvers or reactions because he doesn't have attack cards. Excuse me. Maneuver. A ranger of your choice may draw up to 2 cards and immediately play one of them. So he's got some cards that cost. Recovery Protocol. Reaction. Play this card when another ranger plays a card to allow that ranger to return the card to their hand instead of discarding it. Of course, he has Go Power Rangers. Reaction. Play this card when another ranger performs an attack to add 2 dice. Okay, 2 dice to that attack. And then he's got Teleport for 3, his big power card. Move 1 ranger from another location to this location. Basically, you can teleport him back to the command center to heal them. Alright, now we're going to look at all the Kickstarter exclusive villains. If you bought or you have the option of buying the Foot Soldier packs, at least pre-release, I don't know how often they'll be in the stores or not. You can get the Tengu Warriors and the Z Putty Patrollers, which are only in the Kickstarter box currently. So if you bought the Foot Soldier pack, you got guys sitting around you can't actually do anything with because you don't have the bases or any of their attacks. So that's why I'm pretty sure they're going to release them guys separate. So we have Tengu Warriors, which go to the shopping mall. That makes sense, I guess. They also go to the Stone Quarry, which that kind of reminds me of the movie Z Putty Patrollers go to the Dockyard, because in the Power Rangers first movie, the live-action one, not the new remake one, which I like. I actually like that movie. I just watched it again the other day. But the original one with Ivan Ooze had the Tengus in there, and they found him in the rock quarry. So that kind of ties in that way. Z Putty's in the Dockyard. People really wanted an Ivan Ooze figure for the game. I don't know if it was because maybe they plan on releasing like a movie version later, or if the rights are odd, because even though they have rights to the Power Rangers, they might not have rights to the character created for the movie. I don't think we ever got a straight answer. So there's the power plant. And then we'll look at all the different villains that we're going to go over. So you have the Evil Green Ranger, Eye Guy, Finster, Primator, Pumpkin Wrapper, Rhino Blaster, Robo-Goat, the bosses, which are Goldar, Lord Zed, Scorpina, and the Wizard of Deception. So yes, Kickstarter adds a lot of extra cool stuff to the game. That you're just not gonna, hopefully all this stuff will come out, or some of it will come out for other people. I don't even care that it's technically Kickstarter exclusive. I honestly wish they would release some of this stuff for everybody to get, because they're Power Ranger lore. Some of the villains are so iconic, like Pumpkin Wrapper and Eye Guy, or Evil Green Ranger. How do you not play without Goldar, Lord Zed? Some of the guys you could skip, and be fine, but yeah, I'm not one of the people that ever be mad if they re-released it later and be like, yeah, whatever, wait a year, 3 years, game is still popular, drop these characters. I'm not going to be mad that they got them even though it's a Kickstarter exclusive. I'll be like, you know what, I've had 2-3 years to play it, that's fine. So here's a Tengu Warrior. I didn't really show them off in my Foot Soldier pack just because they weren't released. Like, they weren't part of that set, you couldn't do anything, so I wasn't too worried about it. But Tengu's Tengu Deadly Talons, 3 damage at fast speed. I got 3 of them. They got Fly Away, got 3 of those. This is a neat one. Move 1 Tengu warrior from this location to the next location clockwise, but is not panicked. So they'll keep moving around, which can mess up your strategy. Also, the fact that since they go to a not panicked area, they could skip over areas. Piercing Screech. Each ranger must discard 1 card from their hand. It's not terrible. And Swarm Attack. Deal 1 damage. Increases damage by 1 for each foot soldier in this location. The minion guys sure love to swarm. So then when Lord Zed appeared, he brought with him the Z putties. So he basically took Rita's putties, threw some giant Z's on them, and they got a sword arm, I guess. I always laughed when these guys came out because they'd be fighting him and they'd be like, oh, punch him in the chest, hit him in the Z, and he instantly defeated him. And I'm like, that's a terrible weakness. And then I think they even acknowledged it in an episode, but they're like, what do you do? We're not going to fix it. So Fierce Strike is 4 damage. Overwhelm. Deal 2 damage. Skip the next ranger turn in this battle. So I mean, 2 damage isn't bad. Well, the fact is you can immediately, if that hits first, you automatically lose your first turn. Because the faster go first and then you lose the next one. So here's what I was just talking about. They have self-destruct. At least they, made a card about it. Well, this card is in play. Each time a Z Putty Patrol card, including this one, is defeated, deal 2 damage. So basically it's like, you can defeat us, but we explode and hurt you. And then they have their Z Shield on their chest, which drains 2 damage. It's a little bit different than some of the other guys, which is always appreciated. Alright, so we're just going to start with guys and see where we get. Robo Goat. Now, I don't remember some of these characters, but there was like 500,000 episodes of the first one. But he's got a giant staff, some armor. Again, these things are super detailed. They would look awesome painted. Charging Headbutt. Deal 4 damage unless the ranger spends 2 to prevent it. That's neat, because they have, I think it's the first card I've seen that gives you an option to prevent damage. He's got his Cloven combo where he just kicks you in the face. Deal 1, deal 2, deal 3 damage. And then his Staff Slam. So he's kind of a basic guy. Sort of like Pudgy Pig. Not a ton of different stuff. Deal 5 damage to the lead ranger. But, you don't need to be super diverse to necessarily be a good character. Up next, we have Rhino Blaster. This guy's beefy. I don't know why it looks like he's a mix between like a rhino, like there's like this weird shell on him. He's got a giant sword. Looks like bat ears. I don't know. I may have to go back and watch some episodes before I play as these guys, so I have a feeling for what they are. Charging Tackle. Deal 6 damage unless the owner discards 2 cards from their hand to prevent it. The Grim Scimitar. Deal 5 damage. He's got a lightning horn, because of course he does. The Rangers must discard a total of 4 cards divided as they choose. And a guard, Water Mist Breath. Each Ranger must discard 1 card from their hand. That's not even terrible, but still. One card can make all the difference, especially if it hits later. Alright, so we're gonna have one of the giant fan favorites, Pumpkin Wrapper. And look at this guy. Vines coming out of his body, his head. Even has a little eyeball in there. Leaves on his back. They had one person paint this during the Kickstarter. It looked incredible. So the wrapper is going to spit hot fire. Deal 3 damage to each ranger. He has his hip pop bomb drop. Each ranger must discard from their hand one card with an energy cost of 0. This iconic artwork, the Rapper's Trap. While this card is in play, each time a ranger attacks this card, they must spend 1 energy. So you basically want to defeat that in one shot. And he's got Rhyming Vines. Deal 2 damage, deal 2 damage, deal 2 damage. Because he's rhyming 2 with 2 with 2, I guess. And then we got 2 more Spit Hot Fires that were just mixed in there. That's Pumpkin Wrapper. Primator. This is a giant blue monkey. His tail, he's got a weird spiky helmet. He's got like jester things on. Not really sure why. He looks iconic. I don't remember the episode. Copy Confusion. Well, this card is in play each time a ranger attacks a Primator card, including this one. Deal 2 damage to the lead ranger. He's got 2 Electric Thunders. Deal 2 damage to each ranger. Mimicry. Or Mimicry? It's Mimicry. One ranger must discard 1 random card from the hand. That ranger suffers damage equal to the number of shields on that card. And Mocking Dance. 2 rangers must each discard 1 card from their hand. Alright. We have Eye Guy. And here is Eye Guy is gloriously disgusting thing. This took a long time. They were talking about making him and they just couldn't. It had to get the mini right first. I mean, he has eyes on his toes. Because they were worried about it just looking like a bunch of basically boobs on there, you know, like circles of things popping out. So it kind of neat to indent. They inverted the eyes a bit to make it look neat, or to work, so it wasn't a problem. I'm glad they got him to work. So he's got Devouring Mind. The ranger with the most cards in their hand must discard 3 cards from their hand. Focus Fire. Deal 4 damage to the ranger with the fewest cards in their deck. Couple Optic Blasts here. Do 2 damage to each ranger twice. And Staggered Visage. When this card is in play, each time a ranger deals damage to this card, reduce it to 1. So you basically have to hit him 3 times. Alright, here we go. We have Finster, the Monster Maker. I just want to do this as a size comparison. So like him versus Rhino Blaster, or him versus a Power Ranger. Like I love just how small he's. Like he's literally the size of Alpha 5. I like how there's a little tiny guy, so they're not always gigantic monsters. Let's see, he does though, because he doesn't normally fight, or I don't think he ever has. My gosh, even has a little glass on. Deploy 2 putty patrollers to this location. So I would assume that if you don't have putties, you would substitute in whoever one of the troops are. You have to pick somebody. Kill command. Got 3 of those. So deal 3 damage. Increase this damage by 1 for each foot soldier in this location. Or you could just, if you don't have putties, you just play putties out of your deck. You find them and you play extra cards. I would imagine that's what you do. Well, this card is in play. All foot soldier cards have +1 health, and each time a foot soldier card leaves, even as defeated, deal 2 damage. And crafted cannon, deal 3 damage to 2 different rangers, drain 3. Like 2 of those. He's got some little bit different abilities. Alright, this is the last monster for this set. Kickstarter. The Evil Green Ranger. Here we have Evil Tommy with his dragon shield and his dragon dagger. But he also has the Sword of Darkness. Let's see what he can get up to. 2 dragon daggers. Roll 4 dice and deal that much damage to 2 different rangers. Dragon Rush. Roll 6 dice and deal that much damage to the lead ranger. Roll 2 dice and deal that much damage to each other ranger. That is awful. The Dragon Shield. When this card is in play, each time a ranger deals damage to an Evil Green Ranger card, including this one, deal 2 damage to that ranger. I like how so far all its cards have the same names as the hero version. Another Dragon Dagger, I missed one. And 2 Swords of Darkness, deal 6 damage to the lead ranger. Basically like, hey Jason, I hate you. That's where that goes. Alright. Now we are on to the boss cards. We are going to start with the Wizard of Deception. I do not remember this guy at all. He is bulky. I mean, he's a hefty guy. So let's see what he does. Shadow Phantasm. Well, this card is in play. Each time a ranger defeats a Wizard of Deception, including this one, they must discard the top 2 cards of their deck. Well, that sucks. Banishment. The lead ranger must discard their entire hand. This boss does not play nice. Dark Knowledge. Each ranger must draw 2 cards, then discard 2 random cards from their hand. At least you get to draw cards first, so, but that's also, you know, drain your health by 2, and then you have to discard 2, possibly the one you just drew. Foul Ritual. He's attacking his Zords. At the end of this battle, if this card has not been defeated, it deals 7 damage to each ranger. This is a fast, so it goes to the front. Shadow Pact. Guard. Deal 3 damage to each ranger. Drain 2. Scorpina. We got Scorpina here. Got her wicked long boomerang looking sword. Detail on some of this, like there. Skull on her face. I mean, my camera sucks, you can't see the detail anyhow. I'll try and take some good pictures. got 2 boomerang blades. I was right. It was a boomerang. Deal 4 damage. After the last Scorpina card in this battle resolves, if this card has not been defeated, deal 4 damage. Deadly Stinger. Deal 5 damage to the ranger with the fewest cards in their deck. Fainting Slash. Deal 5 damage. Skip the next ranger turn in this battle. Which is not like the Green Ranger. It's like half our cards are fighting. Scorpion Strike. Deal 4 damage. Drain 2. And Sweeping Slash. Deal 5 damage to 2 different rangers. We're going to look at Lord Zed. Got a staff. All this other stuff. I know there's these like weird vein things on him. I've never understood what any of that stuff was. His brains up here. Sticking out. Lord Zed will do some cruel strikes. 1 ranger must discard the top 3 cards of their deck. Darkness Burst. Deal damage to each ranger equal to the number of cards in their hand. Could get lucky there, but I mean... Inferno. Deal 5 damage to each ranger. Z Lightning. Deal 12 damage divided amongst the rangers as they choose. And Aura of Doom. While this card is in play, each time a ranger plays a card with an energy cost greater than 0, deal 2 damage to that ranger after this card resolves. So before I go on to Golgar, I just wanted to show this off. There was an alternate sculpt of Riga Repulsa. It's kind of neat. So it's less of like a battle warrior version versus old haggard witch version. I forgot exactly what they called it, but that's still neat. I just got an alternate sculpt of her to use. Our final villain, final Kickstarter thing, will be Golgar. One of the characters everyone was looking for outside of, for like the main original cast. People like wanted Ivan Ooze, like I said. People were looking for Squat and Babu, which Gotham Ying mentioned they might do something with. He kind of hinted at something. So we have Grudge. Deal 2 damage. Increase the damage by 1 for each hit token on Golgar cards, including this one in this battle. Heat I-Beams. Deal 4 damage to each ranger. Fast speed, too. Roaring Slash. Deal 5 damage to 2 different rangers. Sword Strike, deal 6 damage to the lead ranger. And Vengeful. When this card is in play, each time a Golgar card, including this one, is defeated, deal 3 damage.